Well, despite it being the 6-year anniversary of their last state title in football, Warren JFK just could not overcome the explosive offense of New Bremen. One of the many divides right now in the Browns fan base is among parents on whether or not they will allow their child, or their daughter in particular, to don a number 4 jersey when they tune into the Browns this fall.
Would I allow my daughter to wear a Deshaun Watson jersey? I could not. I couldn't.
And for WVU, the blue and gold, you think of a Don Nealon, Pat White, or even Tavon Austin. But some figures may not be well known nationally, but in their respective campuses or facilities, they mean everything. Garrett Ford Sr. passed away recently on December 14th, 2025. Not only was he a trailblazer for WVU football, he was part of the program long after he stopped playing, taking his family with him on the ride.
The number of people that reached out to us that remember when he played, remember when he coached, the people that respond, the former players that respond to us that talked about how they would have never attained their goal of attaining a degree if it wasn't for him. It didn't matter who you were. He loved being able to talk, sit down, shoot the bull with a lot of the students when they were at the Coliseum or between class. If you were on the Evansdale campus and you were an athlete, you didn't have the mountain there. You had Coach Ford's office.
Ford was named the assistant AD in 1985 and then associate AD in 2002. He left Morgantown as a player with All-American honors. His journey post-playing with WVU athletics began in the late 60s and continued for 44 years as an assistant coach and administrator.
Here's where representation matters. If I'm a kid coming in for a recruiting visit and I see a whole bunch of other people telling me how great it is to be here and what they're going to do and how things are going to go, and yet then I got someone who stands up in front of me who looks like me, somebody who has gone through the undergraduate process of being a player, who has gotten to the professional ranks as a player, who has developed their own personal career in a counseling and professional manner, I can look at that person and say, that could be me.
He was part of the first wave of African-American players in the program's history, on a campus with just 20 African-American students at the time.
He was a living legend at the university for all of his accomplishments, both on the field and what he did in the counseling aspect of help development of the program. Me personally growing up in Morgantown, where your name is Garrett Ford Jr., I played football, I played running back the same as he, I wore the same number the same as he. I always was following in his footsteps.
Ford was inducted into the WVU Sports Hall of Fame in 1995. His one former colleague said, quote, Garrett had more to do with the success of West Virginia's African-American students athletically, academically, and socially than any other person. Mr. Ford passed away peacefully at the age of 80. There is a memorial ceremony expected in Morgantown the week of the Blue versus Gold game. Alex? The finalists wear buckskins and a coonskin cap while carrying a rifle as they compete in a cheer-off. They are judged on their performances and interactions with the crowd as they lead traditional game cheers.
My energy, my enthusiasm, my love and passion really shined through, and I think a lot of people saw that, and I want to be able to be that shining, passionate light, and I think my chances are pretty good, yeah. My dad, all growing up, was like, oh, Joel, if you go to that university, you're going to be the Mountaineer. For the longest time, I was like, I don't know, Dad, I wanted to be a football player. And then turns out that I'm not 6'3", and I, didn't grow to that level. But when I got to this university, it was always in the back of my mind. And my dad was always like, "You should do it." And I was like, "I'll think about it." But now that I'm here, now that I'm in this position, being able to be that, it would mean the absolute world to me.
The selection committee will make their official decision on the next Mountaineer next Saturday in the men's game against BYU. Whoever the next Mountaineer will be, they will join an exclusive fraternity of real live human mascots, featuring USC, Notre Dame, and of course the gold and blue of WVU. Keeping you connected in Morgantown, Dante Centofanti, 5 News. Welcome back, everyone. The YSU football team begins their season in the win column. They welcomed the Duquesne Dukes into the 3-3-0 today as they made the short drive from Pittsburgh. We take you to the Ice Castle. Doug Phillips entering his third year at the helm. Duquesne coming off a loss to Florida State last week. Already had the early 7-0 lead until Jaleel McLaughlin gets into the end zone. PAT good. We are tied at 7. And the YSU linebackers were on point today. Griffin Hoke, the pride of Dublin, Ohio, gets the pick, and YSU will take over. Then once again, Penguin linebackers on the swarm. Devin Johnson with the INT to give the Penguins the ball back. 2 consecutive interceptions. Then on the ensuing Penguin drive, McLaughlin, he's going to find a gap and hurdles over a Duquesne defender. We take you out to the dub for this one. Fourth quarter, Raiders lead 31-30. Good dish to Isaiah Jones for a nice layup to put the Warriors up by 1. And then under 4 to go, Raiders by 3, and this time it's A.J. Bartolin with a nice dish on the inside to make it a 37-36 ball game. But Range would respond. Good ball movement leads to Landon Moore getting a good look top of the key, and it's butter to make it 40-36 Raiders. And then 2:30 left, 42-38 South Range as Donovan Pulowski gets a good look from 3 and buries it to make it a 1-point game. And then shortly after, Mateo Fortuna with the nice steal. He's going to take it coast to coast to put the Warriors up 43-42 with 2 minutes left. And then 1 second, .4 left to go, 44-42. Brookfield South Range trying to tie it with free throws. Nate Lewis makes the first one, and then Landon Moore has his teammates back at the buzzer for the putback to send South Range to the district final.
You know, I think it's going to take a lot of focus each and every day, one pitch at a time, one out at a time.
Defiance is searching for their first state title since 2016. With their great start to the regular season, all signs are pointing to them to get to Akron this June and reach the state Final Four.
When we score 4 more runs over the last 25 years, we won 95% of our games. So, but when you face good pitching, 4 runs is a lot. So, you know, last year we had a great team. We got beat 1-0. Our pitcher threw a 1-hitter, and we got beat 1-0. So that's baseball. So to get to the Final Four and get to Akron, you got to be good, but you also got to get some breaks.
Reporting from the Defiance Baseball and Softball Complex, I'm Dante Centofanti. Your News Now Sports. We begin tonight with breaking news out of Morgantown. This afternoon, WVU Athletic Director Ren Baker made the announcement that Neil Brown has been fired as the head football coach after 6 seasons. West Virginia University announced that Brown has been fired a day after West Virginia suffered a 52-15 loss at Texas Tech, falling to a 6-6 record. Brown finishes his tenure in Morgantown with a 37-35 record overall and a 25-28 record in conference play. He agreed to a contract extension through 2027 in the offseason with West Virginia, but the Mountaineers regressed after a 9-win campaign in 2023. They were picked to finish 7th in the Big 12 preseason poll and entered this season with very high expectations. But after losses early in the season to rivals Penn State and Pitt, along with back-to-back primetime losses to Iowa State and Kansas State, Ren Baker felt it was time to go in a new direction. Brown's buyout clause noted that he would be owed 75% of his remaining salary, near $9.7 million. WVU Athletic Director Ren Baker released a statement this afternoon. He said, quote, "Coach Brown is a great person and he has served as a tremendous ambassador for West Virginia University. He led our storied program with class and integrity and always put in the hard work necessary to allow for success. We are grateful to Neil, his wife Brooke, and their children for their contributions to our university, community, and state, and we wish them the very best in their next endeavor." We will keep our focus on the young, incredible men in our program and preparing for our bowl game. Our national search for WVU's 36 head football coach is already underway. I am confident that with the strong alignment among the university leadership, our passionate supporters, our proud history, and our willingness to invest, we will have an outstanding pool of candidates.